composition of functions is when you take two functions and you're kind of plugging them into each other. So the way that they're written, they can be written two different ways, and that's shown in the box. It can be written like with a circle, so g of f of x, that means that f is getting plugged into g. The other way to write it is like that, g of f of x. That way is the way you'll probably see it most often, and that's the way I like to see it as well. So if I see it written a different way, I usually convert it to that way so it's easier to see. Basically, you're going to work inside out. So whatever's on the inside of the parentheses, you're going to do first, and then you're going to work your way out. So the first example here, k of h of 7. So you're going to focus on the inside first. So the inside is h of 7. So you're going to figure out what h of 7 is. So we're going to go to the h function, and I'm going to plug 7 in. So h of 7 is going to be the square root of 7 times 7, which is the square root of 49, which is 7. So 7 is what h of 7 is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do k of this answer. So k of 7. So I'm going to go to k and plug in 12 minus 3 times 7. And then I end up with negative 9. So the final answer is the one that's boxed. So negative 9 is our final answer. The 7 helps us get to our answer, but it's not our final answer. So if we look at the next one, g of f of negative 2. So I don't like the way that one's written, so I'm going to rewrite this as g of f of negative 2. Okay, so you can read it however you want. The inside most term we have is f of negative 2. So first we're going to do f of negative 2. So we're going to go to the f function, and we're going to plug in negative 2. So 5 times negative 2 squared minus 8 times negative 2. So this is going to give us 36. Okay, so 36 is what we're going to plug in to the g function. So now we're doing g of 36. So it's 4 over 5 times 36, which is 4 over 180, which we can reduce to 1 over 45. Okay, so 1 over 45 would be our final answer. F of g of negative 2. I'm going to rewrite that again. F of g of negative 2. So first thing we want to do, work inside out. So we're going to do g of negative 2. So g of negative 2 is going to be 4 over 5 times negative 2, which is 4 over negative 10, which is negative 2 fifths. Now we're going to do f of negative 2 fifths. So f of negative 2 fifths. So we're going to go to our f function and plug in negative 2 fifths in for all of the x's that we have. And if we plug this in, what we're going to end up with is 4. So 4 is our final answer. And let's look at this last one. So again, I'm going to rewrite it. H of g of 1. And we're going to do inside out. So inside first, g of 1. So g of 1 is going to be 4 over 5 times 1, which is 4 over 5. And then we're going to do h of 4 over 5. So we have the square root of 7 times 4 over 5. So this ends up being the square root of 28 over 5, because you're going to multiply, it's like 7 over 1. So 7 times 4 is 28, 1 times 5 is 5. So we can't have this as our final answer because the whole thing's a radical. So what that means is that it's really like the square root of 28 over the square root of 5. You can break it up into the top and the bottom, and then we need to rationalize. So we're going to multiply by radical 5 over radical 5. So we're going to multiply 28 and 5 together, and then we're going to multiply square root of 5 and square root of 5. So we can make this a little bit simpler, because the square root of 28 we can simplify a little bit. So I'm going to take out the 2, and I'm left with 7, because square root of 28 is 7 times 4. 4 is a perfect square, so that's going to come out as 2. So I'm going to make this a little bit simpler. So here, and again, I'm still multiplying by radical 5. So now all I have to multiply is the 7 and the 5 together. So it's going to be 2 radical 35 over 5. Okay, so if we look at a couple more examples. First we have f of g of 0. So again, I'm going to rewrite this to be f of g of 0. And we're going to do g of 0 first. So g of 0 would be 4 over 5 times 0, which is 4 over 0, which is undefined. So I can't even continue this because I can't plug in something that's undefined into the f function. So that's just undefined. H of f of negative 1. So we're going to do f of negative 1 first. 5 times negative 1 squared minus 8 times negative 1. And that's going to give us 13. And then we're going to do h of 13. So square root of 7 times 13 is the square root of 91. F of h of 7. So first thing we're going to do is h of 7. So it's going to be 7 times 7, so square root of 49, which is 7. And then we're going to do f of 7. So f of 7, 5 times 7 squared minus 8 times 7 equals 189. At g of k of 2, so first we do negative 2. So k of negative 2 first. So 12 minus 3 times negative 2, which is going to give us 18. And then we're going to do g of 18. So 4 over 5 times 18 equals 4 over 90, which we can reduce to 2 over 45. Okay, and then the last one, k of 2. So we're going to do k of 2 first. So 12 minus 3 times 2, that's equal to 6. And then we're going to do k of 6. So we're plugging that back into the same function. So we're going to do 12 minus 3 times 6, and that's going to equal negative 6.